Hi guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today's video is going to be a space themed gel nail set that I filmed back in September of 2023. So instead of going through the video and talking about what I'm doing and explaining it like it's a tutorial, I decided to read a Reddit post. So I'm probably just going to read the one post because it's kind of long and this video is only like 20 minutes. And it's from the best of Redditor updates. So usually those posts are pretty long because it gives you kind of like the full story of a Reddit post. So it'll give you the original post, and then if the person who made the post comes back and does an update, it'll also give you the update to that post. Okay, so let's start reading. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law she won't be seeing my baby after throwing a baby shower for herself? So this post does have a trigger warning for abuse and intentionally trying to trigger a mental health episode. So if that's something that triggers you, please don't watch this video. I have other videos on my channel that you may enjoy, so check one of those out. And if you are exiting out the video because you don't want to be triggered, then I'll see you or you'll see me in the next video, okay? Let's get started. The original post was written on January 3rd, 2024, and it reads, "My husband and I are experiencing our first child, or are expecting our first child, not experiencing. We moved to be closer to his family. I am no contact with mine. My mother-in-law has been referring to the baby as her baby this entire time. She will say things like, 'I can't wait for my baby to be born. My baby is going to be so loved.' This rubs me the wrong way, for reasons I cannot explain, but my husband tells me to ignore her. My mother-in-law wanted to throw me a baby shower and invite her friends. She said they made an agreement a long time ago that they would celebrate each other's kids' weddings and births. My husband and I eloped and declined a reception for her friends since we don't know them. My mother-in-law told me that I owed it to her to let her throw me a baby shower since I hurt her friends' feelings by not having a wedding reception. Who cares about her friends? Who cares? Anyway, I asked if I could invite my friends and she said no. That this was for her friends and that if my friends wanted to throw me a shower, they could. I reluctantly agreed. My husband and I spent hours on our registry, and my mother-in-law asked for it so she could share it with her friends. She said she forwarded it the registry on. She asked me what design I wanted on my cake and cookies. I told her flowers because I'm decorating the nursery in a garden theme. At the shower, they provided me with a mother-to-be sash and my mother-in-law with a granny-to-be sash to wear. I noticed that the theme of the shower was circus animals. The cake had an elephant, the balloons had elephants, the cookies were animals. At first I thought that maybe the floral theme was just too difficult, so I rolled with it until it was time to open presents. Every present was some sort of circus animal. Onesies, blankets, toys, nothing on my registry. I was a little confused and even went so far to check my registry to make sure I hadn't goofed up and changed everything. I thanked everyone for their gifts and tried to sound as gracious as possible, but I was so confused. My husband, who was a little less tactful than I am, showed up at the end of the shower and noticed the theme right away. He goes, "What's up with all the circus animals?" He looks at the presents and says, "This isn't what we asked for." Then he looked at his mom and goes, "Mom, what did you do?" She smiled and said, "I didn't like the theme you chose for my baby. I'm going to decorate my baby's nursery at my house with circus animals, so I created a registry for myself." My husband said, "You did what?" She says, "My baby is going to need a room at my house, so I threw a shower for myself." I lost my composure and told her that she would not see my baby and to stop calling the baby hers. And my husband told his mom that she's delusional if she thinks we're going to allow this. She started crying and said we're just withholding her baby from her. We've been getting calls and texts from his family since the shower, calling us selfish and ungrateful and saying we ruined her joy of being a grandma. Are we the asshole? And that is the original post. Comment below if you think they're the asshole just based off of that original post. I am going to read the update. Based off of that, no, not the asshole. You have to do what's best for your baby. If somebody is just stepping over your boundaries and you got to push back or you got to step away or you got to go no contact, then do what you have to do to keep your peace for you, your spouse, and your baby or babies if you have multiple kids. That's it. That's all that matters. So let's move on to the next post because my phone is on 2% and it is about to die. So the update, there was a small update on January 4th, 2024, which was the next day. And they wrote, "Thank you for all your feedback. Just a little more info now that I am awake and can communicate better. I have text messages where mother-in-law and I conversed about the shower, what I wanted, me sending her my registry, etc. She was all, 'This is going to be so wonderful. You're going to love it. My friends are so excited for you. I can't wait to see what everyone gets you.' Call me naive, but I did not think that she had ill intent with this. For those asking why I reluctantly agreed to attend a party with her friends, I could tell how much it meant to her to carry on this tradition with her friends. But I was hesitant because I had never met them. My husband and I had declined a wedding reception since she wanted to throw for the same reason. We had eloped, so we had no intention of throwing a reception of any kind. We didn't have a bridal shower either, other than the one that my coworkers threw as a surprise. But I could see how much it meant for her to host this shower. And there's a part of me that wishes I had this kind of tradition in my life. I also felt guilty when she said her friends' feelings were hurt that they couldn't celebrate our marriage. Again, who cares about her friends? You don't even know them. Why do you care?" Moving on, I spoke with my husband last night before we went to bed and told him that I feel like we need to say something to the extended family sooner rather than later. I said I understand he wants to respond logically and not emotionally, but that I also feel like us not saying anything looks like we have something to hide. He agreed and said that he will send a well-worded response later today. He just wants to think of how to word it before sending anything. I can respect that. He wants us to make the situation better, not worse. As I said in my original post, he's a little tactless and he knows it. He wants to make sure he keeps what he says neutral and to the point. He's also not sure what to say to his mom at this point. He said once he sees how the family reacts to this whole story, then he'll be able to make a better judgment on how to approach her. There has been zero discussion about her setting up a room at her house for the baby. I asked my husband last night, had she mentioned anything to him about it? And he said no. Other than she suggested we add a packing plate to our registry so we can have a portable crib. He said he was as shocked as I was to find out that she had intended on setting up a full-fledged nursery at her house and that he had no idea she was throwing a shower for herself. I asked him why he didn't take me seriously when I said that her calling the baby her baby made me uncomfortable. And he said that he thought it was just a generational thing. I asked why he didn't ask her to stop. He said he wishes he had and feels bad for not taking me more seriously. He said he knows I have trauma from the years of abuse at my mother's hand and thought maybe I was reacting due to that. But now he sees that it goes beyond that. He also knows that due to my past experiences, I tend to blame myself for things and I don't stand up for myself even though I should. I grew up believing everything that went wrong was my fault. Years of therapy have helped, but I still find myself with that mindset in some situations. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, trying to keep the peace. So he wishes he had stood up sooner rather than disregarding what made me uncomfortable. He repeated that his mom is notorious for making things about herself, but that he had no clue she would go to this extent. We agreed that if she had just been honest with her intent, then we would have been okay with it. Maybe a little weirded out if we were being honest here, but we would have allowed it. What bothers us the most is the extent she went to deceive us rather than just having a conversation with us. We had no clue grandparent showers were a thing either. They are? Grandparents be throwing showers for themselves? That is very weird, but okay. We're not certain we want to go 100% no contact at this time, but we want to keep our distance from her for now. We did agree that she would not be allowed to be alone with the baby for the foreseeable future. The hospital that I'm giving birth in allows infants to stay in the room with the mother, so my husband and I have agreed that she, the baby, will stay with us as much as possible. We're still up in the air as to whether we're going to allow visitors at the hospital. Some of that will be determined how I feel after birth, if I end up needing a C-section, etc. Mother-in-law definitely will not be allowed in the room while I'm delivering. No one but the husband and our medical staff. The big thing we agreed on is that we want our baby to be loved and safe and secure. He knows that I don't have a family to fall back on other than my brother, who has said that he will buy a plane ticket and be out here ASAP if I need him, and my friends, who have been very supportive. We want our baby to have a sense of family that I did not have growing up. Husband's dad and stepmom have been absolutely amazing from the second we announced our pregnancy to them, and I have no doubt the two of them will be loving, doting grandparents. Honestly, I suspect mother-in-law will be a good grandmom, but she's going to have to earn my and my husband's trust again. So there's another update, January 6, 2024. It says, most of you were correct. My husband talked to his brother yesterday. Mother-in-law is plotting to take my child because she thinks I'm going to be like my own mother. My own mother was physically and emotionally abusive to me and my brother. Mother-in-law told basically everyone that I'm mentally unstable, so she's preparing a room for when, not if, my husband leaves me with the baby. The baby shower was a ruse to try and get a rise out of me and show her friends how unstable I am, but my husband ruined it by showing up and being the one to really say something. I mouthed off a bit, but my mother-in-law was hoping to really push me over the edge. I assumed the my baby comments were testing the waters as well. I've been in therapy for 11 years, and I've been working on my own fears of being like my mom with my therapist. We have weekly standing appointment on Zoom. I've also talked with my OB and psychiatrist about staying on medication and watching closely for signs of postpartum depression. My husband has been a part of all these conversations and has sat in therapy with me multiple times. I'm not violent or known to have violent outbursts. I tend to withdraw and be non-confrontational when I'm upset. I can't say I fault my mother-in-law for having concerns, but I wish she'd gone about showing it in a completely different manner, such as talking with me and my husband. He has half a mind to go to her house and just rip her a new one. But I told him no, we're not going to fight fire with fire. If she talked with me about her concerns, I feel we would have reached this point. I've been able to share what I went through with her. We've always been able to talk about things. She's seen my arms and legs, which are scarred from physical abuse. She's odd, but never uncivil towards me. I would have told her I shared those concerns and then told her what steps I'm taking to prevent them. I haven't told her about having those worries because, ironically enough, I didn't want to worry her. I don't want to keep my daughter from a grandparent who loves her. I just wish things had been handled a little differently. Okay. So there is some updates, and it says the original poster also posted on the sub does not allow cross posting, and those posters were deleted by the mods of that sub. Their first post was much of the same as the Am I the Asshole post. The second post, also removed, there was no new information besides the following. Mother-in-law had begun telling her family that husband is being abused by the poster. There's evidence in text. They're talking to an attorney. And then the husband left a comment on one of the posts that said, I have questions about my brother since he knew this was going on and didn't say anything. He believed my mom when she said I was being abused. Right now, the family we trust are my dad and stepmom and my wife's brother. So dang, so the husband's brother knew that the mom was going to take over the baby shower as for herself, and that the mom, the mother-in-law, was going to have a whole nursery at her house for her grandbaby. Now, I'm not against a grandparent having a nursery at their house for a grandchild. I'm not against, if you got space in your house and you have an extra room that you don't need to make an office or something like that, and you want to go ahead and just go all out and make a whole nursery for your grandchild, do what you want. It's your money. Do what you want. It's your house. But to throw yourself a baby shower for yourself when you're not the one having the baby is weird. Are grandparent showers really a thing? I'm going to have to research that. But let me know in the comments if you have a child and your mom or your dad decided to throw a grandparent shower for themselves and make a registry to get gifts that they can keep at their house for the kid. And also, let me know if your mom or your dad at their house has a whole nursery for your child or children. Like, I understand getting like a pack and play and keeping a pack and play at the grandparents' house. A whole nursery is kind of like, but okay, whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But throwing a whole baby shower for gifts that you can get to keep at your own house when it's not your baby is very weird, because at any moment you could overstep a boundary and your child is like, oh, you can't see your grandkid anymore. Now you got this full-fledged furnished nursery that you can't use because your kid went no contact with you because you don't understand boundaries. And to secretly be plotting against your daughter-in-law to take her baby, or say, I'm getting a nursery at my house, I'm going to make my own registry because she was abused, so she's probably going to abuse her kids, so I know that my son is going to leave her with the baby eventually, so I'll have a nursery at my house. Like, what? Just like the person said in the post, the mother-in-law has no idea that she's been working on herself. She's been in therapy for 11 years. She had the same concerns. She's already talked to her OB. She's talked to her psychiatrist. She's on her medications. She's on her Zoom in therapy sessions, and her husband is there with her every step of the way. Their mother-in-law is crazy. This story could be completely fake, completely false, but we read it as entertainment, you know? But I know there is someone out there, even if this story is fake, there's someone out there who has been through something like this. Because people in the world are just nuts. People are so nuts. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think about this? Comment below. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. Do you read Reddit? If you do, what are some of your favorite subreddits? I'm on like Beauty Guru Chatter, and I'm on some type of nail subreddits, like natural nails and gel nails. Of course, Am I the Asshole? I'm on a bunch of like parenting subreddits, even though I do not have any kids. It's just interesting to see how people parent their kids, especially in today's climate with so many teachers coming out talking about how this new generation is. It's interesting to read the parent subreddit to see how people are raising their children and blaming everyone else but themselves about their children's wrongdoings. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this nail set, if you enjoyed me reading the Am I the Asshole post, let me know. Give this give this video a like, subscribe, come back for more. We have fun over here. We do. I'm trying to be more consistent in 2024. Go back and look at my old videos and watch those, like those. It helps me a lot in the algorithm. And I will see you, or you'll see me, in the next video. Bye, guys.